Hello, my loves. Hello. Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, welcome, girl. Have a seat, sit down, honey, because we got a lot to talk about. If you are a returning subscriber, yes, we said returning subscriber because if you're returning, you need to be subscribed. That's what you need to be. You need to be subscribed. You know we got stuff to talk about over here. This channel is called Be Youthfully You, and this channel is all about becoming the best version of yourself. I am Kim Whiters, and I am your, what do I want to say? What do I want to say? Girl, I'm your girl. I'm a good girlfriend. That's exactly what I am. I am a good girlfriend, honey, because we are all girlfriends out here honey, we trying to hold it together. Y'all understand what I'm saying? We are all trying to hold it together. And on this channel, those are things that we're going to talk about. Those topics, those discussions, honey, those things that you can't talk about with everybody else, we're going to talk about over here. One of the things we want to talk about today is covering ourselves, and let's just go ahead and call a thing. Boundaries. I said it. I don't care whether it's friends, family including children, spouses, parents, siblings, cousins. You have to have boundaries. You have to. Boundaries are very necessary. Boundaries are not places of entitlement. Every one of us needs to have boundaries. Every one of us. Here's what I've learned in my journey. You cannot hear your own voice a lot of times if you are constantly listening to the voice of others. Meaning it will be so crowded. There have been times it has been so crowded in my world with the voice of family, friends, co-workers. Oh my God. I want to use this as an example. As my first example anyway. Many years ago, before I even turned 30, I had a coworker, and she had 3 or 4 different suitors, is what we'll call it. And every day, all day long, she talked about her situations and her suitors. Now, this is before we had situationships or anybody called it that, but that's what they were, because there was no commitment involved. But literally all day long, this was the topic of discussion. And my thing was, I came to work, right? So I have a job to do. Now, whether or not she had a job to do or whether or not she took it serious was her business, but I knew I had a job to do. So to get to the meat of it, I looked around at one point in my life and I just felt so stressed and just like, just like I was being pulled in different directions. And I couldn't figure out why. And it dawned on me one day. I was in the car because this is, again, like I said, before I even hit my 30s, I was literally like maybe 28. And I could not understand why. Like I said, why do I just feel so, so I didn't get on the phone every day. The only time I was by myself during that time was in the morning when I dropped off my children to school and I went to work, and on my way home to go get my children coming from work. So all day long, it was her, these dudes, her. And one day I remember I just asked her, I said, what is it about you and you feel the need to, all these guys, you got to constantly have, all these different people in your life? And her answer to me with a straight face was, she just liked the fact that all these men wanted her. I said, okay. What did that mean? Because you're not happy. You're having to hitch rides to work if you can't get one of these people to drop you off at work who literally just left your house, but your idea of happiness at this point was just having a bunch of people taking up space in your life. Now, that's not a judgment on my behalf. I was actually married during that time, but it was literally, she wasn't happy, but everything in her life was the utter consumption of everybody in our office, literally. And when I tell you, I realized that I had to create a boundary because your energy and what it is that you have going on is impacting me. Whether she realized it or not, it didn't matter. I knew that it was impacting me. So what I started doing, and I'm about to date myself, I started bringing my Walkman in. Yeah, I did. I brought my Walkman into the office. That's when I learned about headphone, what do I want to call it? What I call headphone ignorance. Yeah, meaning I'm going to put these headphones on. I'm going to drown you out. And you're going to see that I got these headphones on all day long. Because I want to work. I want to actually come to work and do the job that the people are paying me to do. That's what I wanted to do. I didn't want to sit and talk about that all day long. You might have a conversation here or there or whatever, but all day long. And the only time that she wasn't talking about them is if one of them was calling her. That's the only time. Then she's on the phone with them. Then you have to sit and hear the conversations with her. You get where I'm going with this. I'm talking about ad nauseum. Y'all, it was, child. And once I started putting my headphones on, made all the difference in the world. But I had to create a boundary because she wasn't going to respect the fact that I'm tired of hearing about this. I don't want to hear about this all day long every day. This wasn't just me and him fell out, we got a little problem we're going through. This was all day, every day, her, him, this one. It was all day long. And I am a solutions person. I am very solutions based. And if you ain't talking about a way to figure out a way to fix what you're saying is a problem, I don't want to keep talking about it. I don't care who it is. Again, like I said, spouses, children, parents, siblings, whatever. Honey, if you're not interested in a solution for that thing, you can back up out of my way. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to hear about it. I don't. Some people like sitting in that place. I'm not that person though. So you need to find somebody. You have to allow people to find someone who is interested in that type of conversation. Because some people love chaos. I'm just not that person. So in creating those boundaries, you create a space for you to be happy in. You create a space where, guess what? It doesn't matter about whether or not it hurts their feelings or not, because there are going to be some feelings that are going to be hurt. When you start putting up those walls, because sometimes you have to build a wall, baby. I'm talking about Great Wall of China. It might have to be 300 miles long and 70 feet high. Sometimes to keep them over there. But that might be what you have to do, because people don't always respect the fact that, hey, guess what? This person doesn't really want to hear about this. They don't want to sit in this arena where we're serving and selling drama every day. They don't want to hear about it. So you go ahead and put that wall up. And make it deep, long as you need to. And it might just consist of a pair of headphones, because you keep coming over into my space. So that's one situation. There may be another situation where people are bothering your things. I know with me, my mother, she did not play that. We did not, well, my brother, he did. He was notorious for that. But we didn't bother each other's things, right? So if this was yours, and I don't care if you do ask somebody, can I see your this or can I see your that? If they don't want to let you see it, they don't have to. We were never taught that, okay, I'm going to make you share with them. But what my mother would say is, now, don't feel away if they have something and you want to see theirs and they don't want to share with you. That's what my mother taught us. So you have to understand, while you have a right to, keep yours close to the chest, They have a right to do the same thing. So sometimes, like I said, you can take and put things, we can be territorial. You have every right to be, because you work hard for your things. And then people don't respect the fact that, hey, this belongs to this person or that belongs to that person. It's kind of the same thing as with not wanting people to constantly be heaping their problems and stuff like that off on you. No, you don't have to allow someone to keep bringing their life into where you are, bringing their problems over to where you are, disrespecting you and your situation, your life, your circumstances, because of the fact that they have a situation. So never mind the fact that they don't want to be responsible about their own life and situation. But now that they have a situation, well, you should just, stop whatever it is you're doing and help me. No. Because see, sometimes you helping them can put you in a situation. And now y'all both in a situation and can't nobody help nobody. Because now you have thrown everything out there that you had, and now you are jacked up, for lack of a better term, and they ain't got nothing they can help you with. So now you got to go out here and seek somebody else. And the people that you know are like, well, how did you get here? Yeah, wait a minute, this ain't even like you. Well, see, trying to help such and such, because they're not committed to whatever it is they're doing, but you are. But now you're committing to them, and you taking and throwing. You see where I'm going with this? So understand that you have a right to protect your boundaries, meaning that you don't have to help someone. You don't have to help everybody. You don't have to jump out of every window behind somebody because of the fact that there are things that they decided that they didn't want to do. And now they need somebody to save them because they jumped out the plane without their parachute. And they want you to come down here with yours, but your parachute ain't built to hold but one person. It's only built to hold one person. So now we both gonna lose out all the way around because they want to be adventurous. How about that? Know how far you're willing to go. Let's just say that. Know how far it is that you're willing to go, because there will be times that you will have to let some people fall. You will. You will have to let some people fall. You're going to have to let them skin their knees, honey. I'm talking about elbows down to the funny bone and the white meat. Yeah, you might have to let them do that because they're never going to learn. And if you become what ends up being an enabler for that person, you not only make yourself unhappy, but you're also doing them a great disservice because of the fact that they're never, ever, ever going to learn to do or be any better. They're never going to learn to do or be better because of the fact, somebody's going to always come save me. Somebody going to come save me. They better, That's what really gets you, is when they hit you with, they better come save me. Yeah, you better come save them because that's what they're used to. That's what they're used to. And you tired of saving folks. You tired. You want to go over here and sit in your room and, or sit downstairs in front of your TV and be comfortable and be happy. You done paid your cable bill. You got your internet up. You might want to sit in your pajamas and doom scroll. Not that that's, a good thing. But I mean, that's what kind of day you want to have. You want to look at other people's lives and not have to worry about your own today or this other person's life. Set the boundaries. It's going to make some people unhappy. Set the boundaries. You're going to have some people that, you done changed. You're right. Set the boundaries. This ain't what you normally do. You're right. Again, box checked. Set the boundaries. Let them feel how they want to feel because they're going to feel it anyway. So it doesn't matter. You have to put yourself in a position where you can serve you a little bit and you can create some happiness for yourself. You don't have to, it's not written anywhere that you have to continue trying to save someone that does not want to be saved. Some people don't even want to be saved. They really, really don't. They just want someone to keep coming to rescue them on the path of continuous chaos that they choose to stay on. They're doing this on purpose because somebody's going to come and bail me out. Somebody going to come bail me out. And if y'all don't, y'all wrong. Raise your hand if you're wrong. I'll be that. I'll be wrong all day. But what I will be is happy. What I will be is have an account that's not in the negative because I'm over here trying to help somebody who's so self-serving and inefficient, that they don't care about the impact that they'll have on somebody else because they can't see anything other than themselves. And then their mirror don't work. Does that make sense? You can't see nothing but what's important to you, which is you. But you don't have a mirror that works, meaning you can't look in that same mirror and see that you need to do something different. And know this, with a straight face, it is not your job. It's not your job to show them. It's not. You're going to have to let them learn the hard way. If they don't figure it out on their own, you do not have to obligate yourself to continuously, and I mean continuously, going down a rabbit hole of self-sabotage that someone is going down intentionally because this is what they want to do. They grown. And sometimes they're not even grown. They're children. But even as children, you might have to let them hit it a time or two. Sometimes, you watch a child and, you look at them and you keep telling them, okay, don't keep going over there by them steps. Or don't, keep going over there by, that door. You're going to close your hand in that door. Leave that door alone. Leave that door alone. And they got their hand right there in the hinge, and they got the door from the bottom, and they keep closing that door and you done told them to stop. And that one time they catch your eye, and that door, that hinge right there where that hinge is, yeah, that. I told you to leave that door alone. I told you to leave it alone. So if it starts then as a child, if we have to allow that to happen sometimes with a child, as an adult, who finna play with y'all? I don't have the bandwidth or the mental capacity. Okay? I don't have the bandwidth. I don't even want to bring the band into this. I'm not going in my Strange voice. If you have seen Boomerang, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not going. I'm not. I choose not to go. You have to get to that place where you choose you a little bit more than you choose others. You are just as important. You are no more obligated to the foolishness and calamity of somebody else's life than you are to yourself. You're not more obligated to someone else than you are to yourself. If self-preservation is the first rule of nature, if you have to put your oxygen mask on first before you can save somebody else, how is it that you can allow someone to keep crossing your personal boundaries and you just keep dealing with it? You got to think about, do I owe them this? Or do I owe it to myself to invite them right on out In some cases, you might have to throw them out. Some cases, you might have to push them out. Some cases, you might have to step over them. Some cases, you might have to, whatever it is that you got to do, keep your boundaries intact. Your boundaries intact. You deserve to be happy, darling. You do. You deserve your own special little place of happiness. You do. You deserve your own place of happiness. Don't let nobody tell you that you don't deserve it. Because it ain't their business. They don't have to know what it looks like. They don't. It's not for them. That's your happiness. But once you put their wall of boundaries up, put a sign on the other side. Put a sign on the other side that says, yep, these are my boundaries. This is where you get cut off right here. This is where you get cut off. They're going to act like they don't see it. But the more you continue to put you first, the more you continue to put you first, the more you continue to put your sanity first, the more you continue to put your personal healing, because you got to heal yourself into a place of, you know what, if they're going to be mad, they're going to be mad, but they will be okay. And again, I don't care who it is. Trust me when I tell you, I don't care who it is. Those personal boundaries have to be established. You have to put some limitations on some things, darling. Why not start now? Personal boundaries are a great place to start. That is our conversation for today. I pray that this message reaches the person that needs to hear it, and that you get what it is that you need to get from this message. I hope that it helps you, or at least enlightens you, or starts you on a path of creating those boundaries that you need. You must have boundaries. You must have boundaries. We all do. We all have to have boundaries. It's necessary. If this is your vibe, please like, comment, and subscribe. And leave a comment, please. Let's talk about some things, honey. This is actually a topic that someone actually left in the comments and said, can we talk about boundaries, girl? Girl, yes, we can talk about boundaries. Because I know about boundaries oh too well. I do. I know about boundaries oh too well. You see, I had a whole, soliloquy about boundaries, But we live and learn. We live and learn. But I'm going to get out of here because I'll get off on a rant, y'all. Y'all know I will. Because the girls need to talk. Like I said, the girls need to talk. We have a good key over here. A good old chit chat, honey. So, again, share this with a good girlfriend. Share this with someone that you think needs to hear it. Or someone that this could help or serve them in some sort of way. Like I said, give them a little jump start. Okay? I'm going to get out of here because that is enough for today. Y'all take care. I'm going to talk to you soon.